This is all about Bitcoin, a show dedicated to all things, questions, and markets related to Bitcoin, little b for the currency, and Bitcoin, big B for the network. A collective journey to understand, apply, and use this innovation, all Bitcoin, all the time. I'm your host, Galen Moore, filling in for Christine Lee all this week. And top stories in the news today, Budweiser USA, a business unit of brewing giant Anheuser-Busch InBev, is getting into the frothy market for non-fungible tokens, NFTs, buying the beer.eth domain name for $95,000 and apparently an NFT of a picture of a rocket for an additional $25,000. It's the second round, if you will, of NFT buying for a major brand this week. Visa pushed NFT sales to a new single-day record on Monday with a $150,000 purchase of a CryptoPunks token. The frenzy hasn't carried over to Bitcoin, however. It's down slightly on the week so far, while Ether is trading roughly flat. A second cryptocurrency software company is getting into mining. POWERBRIDGE Technologies, a China-based firm, disclosed it has purchased 5,600 mining machines built for Bitcoin and Ether, paying an undisclosed amount. Earlier in the week, Canada-based Blockstream, known for Bitcoin-related software development, disclosed its purchase of a mining equipment manufacturing firm. Both firms say they are focused on renewable energy sources for mining. And new investors who used government stimulus checks to make their first investment forays in 2020 were more than twice as likely as more experienced investors to buy cryptocurrency, according to a survey published Tuesday by CNBC. Out of 5,253 adults in the survey, 45% said they were investing their stimulus checks. 10% of those who made their first investments in 2020 bought crypto, while only 4% of those who began investing in earlier years said they bought into crypto. And checking in on the Bitcoin price, a brief buy the dip opportunity earlier today as the CoinDesk Bitcoin Price Index, the XBX, dipped to $47,150.85, its lowest point so far in a week that started with the XBX reaching a high of $50,500. Since that time, Bitcoin has staged a rally at $48,982.23 at this moment. That's up 0.3% on the past hour and up 1.5% roughly since this time yesterday.
The chart of the day is brought to you by Crypto.com, the world's fastest growing crypto app.
And today's chart of the day comes from CoinDesk research analyst George Kaludis and examines a Bitcoin phenomenon known as a hash rate ribbon crossing. Hash rate is a measure of the amount of computing power and energy that miners are using to secure the Bitcoin network. Under normal historic conditions, with the price of Bitcoin and hash rate on the increase, the 30-day moving average sits somewhere above the 60-day moving average. Moments when the 30-day MA falls below the 60-day are seen as buying opportunities in the spot markets for Bitcoin, a pattern that's proven fairly consistent over the past 2.5 years, as the chart shows. eToro, an Israeli company that operates a cryptocurrency exchange, has announced earnings for the second quarter of the year. And with us today to talk about them is the company's CEO and founder, Yoni Assia. Welcome, Yoni.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So Yoni, eToro announced in May that it's planning to go public through a special purpose acquisition company, a SPAC, and a deal that would value your company at $10.4 billion. What's the status of those plans?
So the plans are in progress. We've announced that we filed basically the prospectus back in, I think, early June, and very happy that we've had an amazing Q2 results. We've added 2.6 million registered users to our social trading network, bringing it to more than 5 million registered users this year, which is more than the 5 million registered users we added last year. So during the PIPE process, during the SPAC process, we were amazed by the growth that we've had last year of 147% in total commission from 19 to 2020. And so far this year did start with a perfect storm, both in the equities market for us as we provide people the ability to trade commission-free stock trading alongside cryptocurrencies. And obviously with Crypto Rally 2.0 starting at the beginning of the year, continuing throughout the second quarter, added Dogecoin at the right time to see that becoming a significant part of our crypto business during Q2. And then obviously seeing the correction in May and now sort of the awakening that we're seeing within the crypto space. So we've seen both net trading income and total commission grow by more than 120% year over year, and very excited about the continued interest of millennial investors, of retail investors from all around the world, trading both in crypto alongside equities on our platform.
Yoni, along with Doge, I noticed in your report that you're now offering trading pairs in some 30 different cryptocurrencies. Recently, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler agreed with his predecessor, Jay Clayton's view that every token sale is a security. Does that have you reviewing some of those listings?
We're very aware for constant changes in regulation all around the world. We started from securities. So we were selling securities and we're a registered broker-dealer outside the US way before we added crypto back in 2013. So we're very familiar with various regulations and how they change from time to time. And we are regulated in Europe, in the UK, in Australia, and in the US. I think we should expect changes and updates to regulation as the market continues. I think right now, most large crypto firms are already regulated. So I think a lot of the sort of T's and I's were already crossed. I think there's always constant innovation, whether there's new tokens or decentralized finance, which constantly require new reviews. And we make our own reviews constantly to review all of the tokens listed and crypto assets listed on eToro.
You reported trading commissions of $264 million in the second quarter. What was the total notional volume across your exchange in the quarter?
I don't have that data exactly in front of me, and I do think it was 364, not 264.
My mistake. My apologies.
I don't have the volume data in front of me.
Well, in any case, can you tell me what percentage of volume on the exchange is Bitcoin and where Bitcoin ranks among others in terms of volume on eToro?
If I remember correctly, in Q2, I think Bitcoin was about 9% of total volume of crypto. So we definitely are seeing on the platform, I would generally say more activity on altcoins versus Bitcoin. Across time, we've seen that diversification of users. We generally very much also believe in our users diversifying both between crypto assets, but also between crypto and equities. We saw a lot of our users during May when crypto corrected actually switching to trading stocks instead of crypto. And we're obviously promoting the concept of diversification and risk management for our clients as you want your portfolio balanced across multiple assets. But we have seen a significant rise in trading volumes in ADA and Cardano, which has become a very significant trading volume pair and now the third largest crypto coin, both with its smart contracts launched soon, as well as with its staking, which we offer on eToro as well.
My mistake, by the way, Yoni, earlier, I was referring to the pure crypto commissions with the $264 million figure.
Okay.
I understand the $360 million was your commissions on the entire array of different assets that you're offering trading in. Crypto has certainly grown to become sort of the lion's share of your business. I'm curious to know sort of how you think about that in the future. Do you continue to see yourselves as a primarily crypto exchange, or will equity trading and other assets recover?
A very strong part of our global social investment platform is that we have customers from all around the trade trading different assets, whether it's equities, cryptocurrencies, and even commodities and currencies outside the US. And across time, and we've seen this happen also in the crypto rally 1.0 back in 2017. Across time, what's important for us is users come to eToro, experience the platform, get to actually know other people, other investors on the platform, create those relationships, sometimes copy the most successful investors on our platform using our patented technology of copy trading. And when we see significant activity in a single asset class, last year, for example, in Q2, it was a lot about gold and oil with the corona outbreak. Now, definitely, we're seeing it in crypto. We're seeing customers basically switch between assets, which I think is great because people are looking for action. People are looking for opportunities, and there's no doubt that there is a significant opportunity in the crypto markets in 2021.
Yoni, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for, but I want to thank you for joining us today, and congratulations on the growth numbers.
Thank you very, very much. Looking forward to meeting again. Bye-bye.
Coming up, Argo Blockchain is one of several cryptocurrency miners that is making a play to address investors' ESG concerns over Bitcoin. We'll talk to the CEO. Welcome back. Argo Blockchain Chief Executive Peter Wall joins All About Bitcoin to talk about renewables-focused cryptocurrency mining. Peter, welcome.
Hi, Galen. Nice to be on the show.
So, Peter, Argo is calling itself the first publicly traded cryptocurrency miner to become climate positive. What exactly are you doing to merit that label?
Yeah, so climate positive essentially means that we've gone beyond net zero. So in other words, we've mitigated any emissions that we've projected for 2021, and even we've gone back and mitigated any 2020 emissions, and then we've even gone beyond that. So we've reached carbon, neutrality, and then we've become carbon negative. And we've done that.
Yeah, when you say mitigate, do you mean carbon offsets, or are these changes in your operations?
Yeah, so the first focus for us is always to locate our operations in areas where there's lots of renewable power. So we've been mining in Quebec for 3.5 years. We love operating there because it's 100% hydro. We're building out a facility in West Texas where it's primarily wind. Over 90% of the power on the grid there is coming from wind. We've been working at Core Scientific's facilities. They have a big focus on using renewable power when necessary or when possible. So the first piece is always to locate yourselves in areas of high renewable power. And then when you're not able to do that, there's situations where, for instance, some of Core's facilities are kind of using parts of the grid that are mixed. Then you move to mitigation measures. And the way you do that is you measure how much emissions, are coming out of the power that's being generated to power your machines. And you mitigate that by using offsets. And then you also look at what's called scope 3. So that would be scope 2, that's indirect, and that's coming from your power source. And then you look at your scope 3 emissions, and that's coming from the value chain, from the supply chain. And then you kind of take into account, how much emissions are coming from the transportation and installation of machines and manufacturing of machines. So it's kind of a full scope that you need to look at, scope 1, 2, 3. But it obviously starts with making sure that whenever possible, you're using power that's coming from renewable sources.
What percentage of the power that you're using does come from renewables? Can you estimate?
Yeah, so right now we're at about 75% from renewables. Like I said, all of our power in Quebec is from renewables. All of our power in Texas, or the majority of our power, over 90% of our power, will be from renewables in Texas. And then we do have some machines that are hosted at Core Scientific, and they're about 50-50 in terms of what's coming from carbon-free sources and what's coming from carbon-generating sources.
So environmental, social, and governance, ESG, was front and center at the start of the bearish turn in crypto markets that began last quarter. Do you think it's possible that renewables-focused mining could push the Bitcoin price up further?
Yeah, it's a good question. I generally don't like to speculate on what the price of Bitcoin is or where it's going to go. For us, what's important is that we're operating in a way that's in line with our values and that we think makes smart business sense. And that's to be an ESG-friendly miner. That's going back to the start. We were an ESG miner, Galen, before it was cool to be an ESG miner because we were located in Quebec. We were talking about it, thinking about it. This year, we've gone further. We've launched a climate strategy. We've taken these mitigation measures. And I think in general, it's positive for the space. Look, people are going to mine Bitcoin. We know it's a great thing to mine. We believe it's a great business. We all believe it's an appreciating asset. What's important is that it's done in a sustainable, renewable way. And we feel like we're the leaders in that in terms of publicly traded cryptocurrency mining companies.
So hash rate is recovering, and my colleague David Pan has a story today on a recovery in the price of Bitcoin mining equipment and what Chinese miners are doing with their machines and infrastructure after the Beijing crackdown that really hit full stride in May. Mining seems to be entering a new phase at this time on an altered playing field somewhat. Where are we going from here?
Yeah, I mean, it's been such an interesting year. It started with this great bull run, and machine prices went up alongside of the increase in the price of Bitcoin. And then, yeah, we had this, initial accident in China that knocked some hash rate down. And then we had the ban in China, which again knocked hash rate down. So you went from a situation where machines were really hard to get to all of a sudden it wasn't machines that were hard to get, it was infrastructure that was hard to get. And so now you're seeing some hash rate recover, but it's still pretty slow. I mean, it's not nearly what came off. And that's because infrastructure takes time. We're building out a facility in Texas. It's going to take a year from start to finish. And we had a jump start because we acquired a facility or a project that was already underway. So I don't think we're going to see, the 180 exahash where we were prior to the Bitcoin ban in China. I don't think we're going to see that until well into 22 in terms of that level of hash rate coming back. And then don't forget, you have all the machines that have been ordered by both public and private miners around the world. Those machines need somewhere to go and need to come online. So it's a super interesting time. For sure, machine prices are recovering. Is that a false recovery and we're going to see them drop again? It's hard to say, and certainly our team is following it all very closely.
Quick last question, please. Argo is listed on the London Stock Exchange and the over-the-counter markets, and you've announced plans to list on the NASDAQ. With so many ways for investors to gain exposure to Bitcoin and more emerging by the day, what is the specific appeal of investing in a publicly held mining company?
I think it's the same reason why people invest in gold miners. You buy, the picks and shovels. You don't necessarily buy the asset. And we trade, our short-term and medium-term, or in the past, short-term and medium-term, we've certainly been correlated with the price of Bitcoin. So I think the value is in investing in a company that you can put into your 401k or that you can hold in your stocks that often outperforms the asset. And that's been the case for a lot of crypto miners in the last year. And then in the long term, investing in an early stage company, like ourselves, who are pushing the boundaries of blockchain technology. First in mining and then in other areas. So it's like owning a .com company at the start of the internet. And that's kind of what I would compare it to.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Thanks, Galen.
That was Peter Wall of Argo Blockchain, and that is it for All About Bitcoin. I'm Galen Moore. Join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in New York for First Mover, your first look at the day's global crypto news headlines. You're watching CoinDesk TV.